Welcome to this mindful seeing practice. My name is 𝐌𝐢𝐧𝐝 𝐒𝐞𝐞𝐞𝐢𝐧𝑠. I'm a licensed mental health counselor with diagnostic privilege in New York State, an EMDR practitioner, and a certified dialectical behavior therapy professional. In this mindfulness exercise, we'll use our sense of sight as an anchor for awareness, gently noticing colors, shapes, light, and textures around us. The goal is not to clear your mind or feel any certain way. The intention is to simply practice noticing with as much kindness and non-judgment as possible. Because everyone's nervous system is different, you are always in charge of how you participate in this practice. At any point, you can look away or close your eyes. Shift to feeling your feet on the floor or your breath. Change your posture or stop this exercise altogether. Any of these choices are completely welcome and count as mindfulness. If visual attention feels uncomfortable or activating at any point, you might choose to reset your gaze on the floor on a neutral spot, or close your eyes and practice mindful feeling of bodily sensations instead. Begin by finding a posture that feels as comfortable and supported as possible. That might be sitting upright in a chair, leaning back, or even standing if that feels better for your body. It is advisable that you do not complete this mindful guided meditation exercise while driving a car. If it feels comfortable to you, let your feet come into contact with the floor or ground, noticing the points where your body is supported by the chair, cushion, or floor. You can choose what you do with your eyes. You might have them open with a soft, gentle gaze. You might look slightly downward, or if having your eyes closed feels safer, you can close them for now and just listen. You can always open them later if you'd like to try the visual part. Take a slow, steady breath in through your nose if that's comfortable, and a slow, complete out-breath. Do that once or twice at your own pace. Take a slow, steady breath in through your nose if that's comfortable, and a slow, complete out-breath. As you breathe, see if you can bring a tone of friendliness, almost as if you're keeping company with yourself, rather than trying to change anything. Let's begin the mindful seeing practice, choosing an anchor. Now, if your eyes are open, or you choose to open them, allow your gaze to rest gently on one object in your field of vision. This might be something in the room, a plant, a book, a picture, or a piece of furniture that sparks your interest. Or if you're near a window, something outside, a tree, a patch of sky, a building. If choosing an object feels difficult or overwhelming, it's okay to simply rest your gaze on the floor, a blank wall, or even keep your eyes softly closed and imagine a neutral object like a stone or a leaf. Let the choice be simple and kind. Once you've chosen an object, let your eyes rest there gently, as if you're giving yourself time to really see it. You might begin by noticing its colors or shades. Is it bright or muted? Are there different tones or only one main color? Then notice its shapes or outlines. Does it have straight lines or curves? Clear edges or softer ones? Does it have blurrier borders? You can also explore light and shadow. Where does the light touch the object? Are there any shadows, reflections, or other areas that look a little darker or lighter? If it feels okay, you might look a little more closely at any patterns and textures. Does it look smooth, rough, soft, shiny, or worn? Are there tiny details you hadn't noticed at first? If at any point this kind of close looking feels uncomfortable or too intense, you can soften your gaze and look at something more neutral, like the floor or perhaps a blank wall. Or you might consider closing your eyes and returning to the feeling of your body supported by the chair or the ground. Any of those adjustments are welcome. You don't have to like or dislike the object. If judgments arise, such as, this is boring, this is pretty, this is ugly, just notice that the mind is commenting. You might silently label it thinking or judging, and just simply returning to the practice of seeing. If your thoughts wander away, that's okay and expected. When you've noticed you've drifted, you might say to yourself, come back, and gently guide your attention back to the object, or to your breath or feet if that feels steadier. If focusing on a single object feels too intense or uncomfortable, you might let your gaze become softer and more diffuse, taking in the whole space in front of you without focusing sharply on anything in particular. Or if you prefer, you can close your eyes for a bit and shift to noticing the feeling of your body sitting or your breath moving in and out. Now, if it feels okay, begin to widen your field of vision. Instead of focusing on just one object, allow your eyes to notice the space around it. You might begin to notice other objects nearby, the contrast between light and dark areas, straight lines versus curves, areas of clutter and areas of simplicity. Let your gaze move slowly and intentionally, almost as if you're exploring the scene with curiosity. No need to scan quickly. Just let your eyes land on one thing, rest there for a few breaths, and move to something else if you like. As you look around, you might notice thoughts or emotions arising. I like that. I don't like this room. Or this feels strange. Or perhaps you notice memories or associations connected to what you see. You do not have to push any of these away. You also don't need to follow them. See if you can acknowledge, oh, there's a memory, or there's a feeling of discomfort, and then return to seeing the shapes, colors, and light in front of you. At any point, if something you see feels triggering or upsetting, you are invited to look away, choose different objects, soften your gaze, or close your eyes and come back to the breath, or to feeling your feet on the floor. You are allowed to protect your own sense of safety in this practice. As you continue to see what is around you, you might begin to weave in gentle, compassionate attitude towards yourself. You might silently say to yourself, it's okay to notice what I notice. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay if this feels hard. You might also notice how your body responds as you look around. Are there places of tension? Areas that feel relatively at ease? If you notice any tension, you don't need to force it to relax. You might just acknowledge it. Tension in my shoulders, for example, or tightness in my jaw. And if it's available, offer a small gesture of kindness, maybe softening the shoulders a bit, or taking a slightly slower, deeper breath. Remember, there is no right or wrong way to experience this. Mindfulness here is about how to relate to your experience and not what your experience is. If at any point this begins to feel like too much, you can modify your experience by narrowing your gaze back to a neutral object. Or let your eyes close and feel the support of the chair or the ground. Or you may end the practice now and choose to come back to it at a later time. Honoring your limits is an important part of trauma-informed mindfulness. As we begin to close this practice, begin to let your gaze or your attention, if your eyes are closed, come back to a single point. Maybe a neutral object in front of you, or the feeling of your body sitting or standing. Taking slightly deeper breaths in and longer breaths out. You might gently wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your shoulders, or make any small movements that help your body feel present and awake. Take a moment to notice, what do you sense in your body right now? What do you notice emotionally or mentally? Even if the answer is not much, or I feel the same. If you like, you can offer yourself a simple phrase of kindness, such as, "Thank you for this practice. I did the best I could in this moment." Or perhaps, "May I be as safe and as steady as possible right now." When you feel ready, let your attention return fully to the room. If your eyes were previously closed, you can begin slowly blinking your eyes open, adjusting to the light, taking in the space again. If you have a journal or a notebook next to you, you might consider journaling about what did you notice about the difference between just looking and looking mindfully with some curiosity and kindness. Thank you for joining us in this mindful meditation practice.